Namaste and welcome back to AuraShift. Today I'm going to be talking about tapping, also known as the Emotional Freedom Technique or EFT. Tapping is a technique used to clear emotional and physical blockages. If that sounds interesting, stay tuned. So, tapping is a self-healing tool that comes from the same school of thought as acupuncture. Basically, the body has energy pathways which, if blocked or disrupted, can cause physical or emotional disturbances or dis-ease. So that could look like grief, depression, fear, anger, frustration, pain, or an inability to meet some physical goal. By clearing these pathways, we restore the flow of energy, which allows our mind and body to find balance and self-correct these physical and emotional blockages. So the process involves 4 steps and an optional 5th, which I'll get to in a second. The first step is to identify the experience you're having. The second step is to make an assessment about how you're feeling. The third step is to tap through the points, which I'll give you. And the fourth step is to make another assessment about how you're feeling at the end of the process. Let's talk about that first step. You're going to identify the experience you're having, and then you're going to accept yourself in spite of it. The statement you're going to be using is, even though I have blank, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I have blank, I deeply and completely accept myself. And that blank can be filled with pretty much anything. Any experience that you're having, any distress you're having, even if it's mild. For example, let's say you missed an appointment and you're frustrated about missing this appointment. You could say, even though I feel frustrated, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm frustrated, I missed my appointment, I deeply and completely accept myself. You could even say, even though I missed my appointment, I deeply and completely accept myself. Getting to the emotion helps a little bit more, but I would say start where you can. You want to keep it focused on yourself, the experience that you are having. So let's say that your roommate or your spouse isn't helping with the dishes. So you wouldn't say, even though my husband won't do the dishes, I deeply and completely accept myself, because that's not about you. You might say, even though I'm disappointed that my husband isn't helping with the dishes, I deeply and completely accept myself. You want to turn it into an I statement. It could also be related to something physical. So maybe you say, even though I have this neck pain, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though my neck hurts, I deeply and completely accept myself. Now, step 2 is about identifying the intensity of the feeling or the experience that you just identified. On a scale from 0 to 10, 0 being you don't experience anything, and 10 being it's the worst that it can be, you want to rate where you are right now in this moment as you're beginning the exercise. You can make a mental note of that, or you can write it down. It doesn't matter. You just want to become aware of how you're actually feeling and how intense it is. Step 3, you're going to tap through the points. So let's talk about the points. The points are spots on your body that run along these energy pathways. By tapping on them, you're going to clear the energy through that pathway. So we're going to be using 9 points. I want to say here that when I first started doing this, I found all kinds of people doing it different ways, and some people use more than 9 points. But I found all of that really confusing, and this system with the 9 points is very simple, easy to follow, and a lot of people use it. From what I understand, you're still accessing those energy pathways, and you can still have fantastic results just using these 9 points. So that's what we're going to do. I'm going to talk you through the points. The first point is called the karate chop point, which is on the side of your hand where you would do a karate chop. It's at the base, in between the base of your pinky and the top of your wrist, right in this soft fleshy part. And you're just going to tap it with a couple of fingers like this. Some people do this. I find this very easy. It's not a hard tap, but it is firm. The second point is on the top of your head. It's where where your ears meet in the middle, coming up from your nose here. And you can use 4 fingers like this, or you can just use your whole hand. I've had people suggest this because you don't have to worry about missing the point. So this gets it. The next point is at the inner corner of your eyebrow. You can use 2 fingers here. It's not that much space, and 2 fingers gets it. And I just want to say that a lot of these points are going to have mirror points. You can use the left corner, the right eyebrow, or the left eyebrow. It doesn't matter. You can switch between the sides throughout the session. That also doesn't matter. So the next point here in the inner corner of your eyebrow. And the next point is on the outside of your eye, right here. And again, just a light tapping, firm but light. Next point is under the eye, just below the little bone. And then you're going to go under your nose, under your lips, your collarbone. So that is these 2 bones underneath your neck here. And you're going to go just below the collarbone on either side. You'll feel like a little indentation, and that's where the point is. A lot of people, again, will just use their whole hand. And the last point is under the arm. So it's about 4 inches under the arm here. And you can hit that with your hand or with 4 fingers. Okay, so that's a series of points. Okay, so now let's do the process. We're going to tap through these points using our statement that we talked about in step 2. Let's use the scenario about missing the appointment. Even though I'm frustrated I missed my appointment, I deeply and completely accept myself. And then you can move on to your head, and you can say the full statement, or you can say just a piece of it or the emotion. Even though I missed my appointment, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm frustrated, I deeply and completely accept myself. You can say any of those statements. It does not have to be specific. Even though I'm frustrated, I deeply and completely accept myself. You can even just say frustrated. Frustrated. Even though I'm frustrated. Frustrated. Even though I'm frustrated, I deeply and completely accept myself. Even though I'm frustrated, I deeply and completely accept myself. And some people like to go back to where they started to complete the circuit. I do it sometimes, sometimes I don't. Even though I missed my appointment, I deeply and completely accept myself. And you're going to finish with a deep breath. Deep cleansing breath. And just hold on for a moment and assess. Just take a moment to see how you're feeling. At this point, you're going to move on to step 4, where you're going to decide if there's been any change, a new assessment. On a scale of 1 to 10, how frustrated am I feeling right now about missing this appointment? The suggestion is that you want to work your way down to a 2, and some people will work it until it's gone. I personally, it depends on what's going on. If, let's say I missed my appointment and I'm so irritated that I can't drive, I might be at a 10 and I want to work down to a 5. And then maybe later on, I'll do it a little bit more or not. It may not come back to me as something important to work on anymore. Another thing to look out for is an emotion that pops up after you've worked through one emotion. So maybe first you're frustrated, or maybe first you're angry, and then you realize that you're disappointed. And so then you would tap through again. I mentioned an optional 5th step. Some people like to go in and replace those negative thoughts you were having with positive thoughts. So you would tap through the points with a statement. For example, I'm getting better at this. I'm learning more about myself. I'm getting positive tools for change. I'm becoming a more relaxed and peaceful person. You could use all of the above. You could talk yourself through the situation using positive statements. And the key is to say things that are believable. You don't want to jump out there with something that you haven't achieved or something that you're still working on. This is something that's true and it's a positive affirmation. You would do the same process. You tap through the points using the positive affirmation and take your deep breath. And then you can make an assessment again to see how you're feeling. So that's an optional fifth step. It's up to you. You can try it both ways and see which feels the best. So that's it. It's pretty simple, not hard to follow. If you can't remember, feel free to replay the video and tap along with me using your own scenario. I will also post all of the points and their locations below, as well as if I have time, I'll try to make a PDF for you so that you can just print it out. Please, if you have any questions, post them below. I'll do my best to answer them. And if you do this process and you have some experiences, please share them with the community here. If you haven't stopped by AuraShift.com lately, please come on by and take a look. I've added a blog and also a store with some products from my YouTube videos, as well as some new products that I've created. So please come on by and let me know what you think. Again, thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Namaste.